Alright, still working on random yarn bin number 6. Alright, let's go through all the rest of this random yarn. Oh, they look so pretty in the bin though, don't they? Hey, crafters, crocheters, yarn enthusiasts. Today is Wednesday, April 20th, 2022. My name is Jenny. Welcome back to Granny Square Peg, or welcome if you're new. This is where we talk about crocheting and yarn just stuff. Alright, so we are still working through random yarn bin number 6, and this is part 2. Okay, if you guys remember the video from yesterday, I pulled out all my number 4 worsted weight medium weight yarn. Okay, and I separated it into bags by company. So one bag has Red Heart Super Saver, one has Red Heart with Love, one bag has Vanna's Choice by Lion Brand, and so forth and so on. Okay, so when I was looking at the rest of this bin yesterday, I realized in the bottom I've got these little granny squares, 2 rounds of a solid granny square, right? So I've got it in purple, red, blue, and another blue, and a yellow, and a green, right? So it turns out I was making little sample squares of yarn, and some of it belongs to the Red Heart with Love. Like this is the colored lettuce, right? So that should be in the bag with the Red Heart with Love, right? This is the color Corn Silk. The color Blue Hawaii. And the, Berry Red, okay? So I'd like to keep them all in the bag, but the problem is this purple is from the Burnett Super Value, which is in a different bag. So then, like, what's a girl to do? Do I keep all my squares separate with the company it belongs to, or do I keep those squares all together? I don't know. That's part of my organization problem. Because, like, this color here, this blue, if I remember, this is impeccable. It's loops and threads, impeccable, from the Michaels craft store. And that is in a completely separate bin somewhere else. So I think what I'm going to do is label these with the yarn company that they belong to, and then keep them together. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do, is label them with the yarn company, but keep them all together instead of sticking them in 5 or 6 different bags. So check out my little 2 rounds of a solid granny square. Aren't they cute? I was hoping to make a whole bunch and do like a little patchwork kind of blanket, you know, with just all the random number 4 medium weight yarns that I have. I thought they would be cute together. Yeah, I've got to pile them all up. And of course I'm still fighting all the cat fur, and the kitty cats are not even bothering me today. And what do you think? Those are cute colors, aren't they? And then in the bigger squares, these are 3 rounds of a solid granny square. In the same colors as my smaller set. There we go. So when I'm done this video, I will sit and write myself a note. I will keep these together. And some random little bit of yarn. Okay, so let's dig into this bin and see what is in here, huh? How about Stitch Studio by Nicole, Cotton Colors. So that is a cake of yarn. Well, let's try this side. This side's better. From Stitch Studio. Stitch Studio was a brand that was sold exclusively at AC Moore, and I think AC Moore is just an East Coast of the United States kind of store. But again, they closed down during the pandemic. And they'd been in my neighborhood for as long as I can remember. Shoot, way back into my 20s. And I'm like 50 years old. So AC Moore has been around for as long as I can remember. And unfortunately, they closed down in the pandemic. So this is their Stitch Studio by Nicole was made exclusively for them. It is number 2 fine, and it is 100% cotton. Pretty. I've never used this before, and since I only have one cake of it, I'm assuming that when I do go to use it, if I go to use it, my project would have to be just this. Maybe a scarf, like an infinity scarf, maybe. I don't know, because I just don't know. I have a hard time working with the thinner weight yarns because I feel a little bit of arthritis settling in the hands, a little bit. Okay, so where do I put that? So on that same shopping trip, I bought Premier DK Colors anti-pilling, and that color does it have a name? Like they didn't have a name for the other one, it was just, there was no color name on that one. This one is macaron, not macaroon. There are 2 different types of cookies, just in case you didn't know that. So this is a lightweight 3. It should be 100% acrylic. Yeah, 100% acrylic. I bought it because the color was pretty. But again, I have no job in mind for it. And because I was going to the closeout sales and I was picking up yarn for sale prices, and we're closing the store prices. So that's where that came from. Patton's Kroy Socks FX. It is 75% washable wool and 25% nylon. It is superfine number 1, and its color is celestial colors. So I didn't actually buy it to make socks because I don't knit and I don't crochet socks. I bought it to make a hat. See how far I got with making a hat. But it's pretty though. I love those shades of purple. Got a little bit of teal in there too. When you dig into it, a little bit of teal. What else do I got in here? Let's go with the swan. There's some bulky yarn. All right, loops and threads. Again, it's the Michaels brand. It's Charisma. It is a number... It is a number 5 bulky. Its color is called Lakeside. Alright, so here we go. There's the label. There's the color. I have 1 full ball of it and a partially used one here. I used this and I made a corner-to-corner blanket that was gifted a couple of years ago. This is what I had left over. I have no job for this. This is just what I had left over. I think it would make a really good hat because it's nice and thick and it's soft. I think it would make a nice hat. Nice warm hat, I think. So, that's what's in that bin. I mean, that's in the bin too. Let's just stop telling you what's in the bin. You know what's in the bin because I'm pulling it out of the bin. Ah, okay. That was my alarm to go pick up the kids. Okay. I know I'm always running off to pick up the kids. That's what time of day I have to sit and film. Okay, this bin makes me very discouraged because once I take out the medium worsted weight yarn and all the randomness that's left in here, some of this yarn was bought with no job in mind, with no project in mind. I bought it because I could or because I wanted to, and that's frustrating me a little bit, and it's making me feel a bit discouraged. So hang in there with me while I work through my process of why in the world I buy so much stuff and then never use it. I mean, this stuff has been sitting around for years. So next we have Premier Yarns. This is called wool-free lace. So it's yarn that has no wool in it, I guess. Yeah, okay. Show you the label. Right? And then check out that sparkliness going on. It is 88% acrylic, 7% PBT, and 5% metallic. It is a #1 superfine, so it's like sock yarn, and you can do shawls out of it. This was the first one I bought, so the color's a little different. This has got blues in it, and this is pinks and grays. I bought this because I did use this in a shawl. This color is called Sea Sunset, and I've got, sorry, Baby Bandit's trying to jump down, and there's no room for him to do that. Pretty kitty. You know, I did use some of this in a shawl that I made, but I never actually finished the shawl, and it's in another bin somewhere. But I had liked the color of it, and I went out to Joann's and I bought some more. So there is another one of Sea Sunset, and it's new. It hasn't been used. And then when I had bought this one, I had seen these two colors on the shelf, and I really liked them, and I bought them. But again, I bought them because I could, because I wanted to. I have no job for them. Now Bandit's in the bin with the yarn. So these I might, as I go along, I might sell the 3 that are still new and haven't been used, and just keep the partial one that's been used, because I don't have a job for them. I don't know what to do with them. All right, them in the chair, huh? So that makes me very frustrated. You know, I got yarn that I have no intentions of ever using. Alright, and because I've already filmed this video once and I have to do it again, so it's hard to muster up some excitement about it. Alright, this is Red Heart Soft Essentials, and this is stripes, and the color is Pixie Stripe. It is pink and gray and white. It is a #5 bulky weight. Now this, I had multiple balls of this. I had 4 or 5 balls of this. I can't call it a skein because, I mean, it's kind of tiny. Only like 3 ounces, 3.5 ounces. 4 ounces. And I was working on a project with it, and I didn't like the way it was coming out. I was making a baby blanket, and I was doing slip stitches in the back loop just to try it out, see if I liked it. I do like the slip stitching in the back loop or in the front loop. I just didn't like the way that it was with the bulky yarn. So that's what this is, because I frogged all of it. I ripped it all out and put it on my yarn winder and made cakes out of it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. I've got 6 cakes of it, so that means I had 5 skeins or 5 balls of it. And then a baggie that has the ball bands and little bits of leftovers. So I have to come up with some kind of project for it to use it up. But this is still new, so I can maybe see, this color was a little different. I don't see any of the lighter pink in this one. It might be a different dye lot. Maybe, because you see, I don't see any of the lighter pink in there. Well, this one's got a lot of light pink. So yeah, I was working on a project and I didn't like the way it was coming out, so. But it's a nice yarn, Red Heart Soft Essentials. It's nice. It's soft. It really is. I think I like working with it. Oh yeah, look, there's even a little bit here. So, I mean, I've got a lot of this yarn. I'm going to have to make a baby blanket out of it and just come up with a different pattern for it. Yeah, I'll have to come up with a different pattern for it. Something simple, I think, to highlight the color striping. Alright, so what else? Oh, here's a random project for you. This is from, the yarn is from, I don't have the ball bands here, and that frustrates me so much. Because I know that the yarn labels or the ball bands are in another bin, box, or bag somewhere. And my organization, when I put everything away, there was none. So frustrating. This is their cotton blend from Lion Brand, I want to say. I remember the name of the color. It's called Chai Latte. So if you guys remember the yarn company, I'm pretty sure it's Lion Brand. And it is something in their cotton line. And I did single crochets in the back loop only, and I love the rib texture. And then I went on and bought another color, which I don't know what color that is, probably some kind of rainbow color. And I'm making a blanket out of it. I mean, it's really long. It's got to be like 200 stitches wide at least. Well, yeah, it's got to be. But I was undecided on what color to do next. So I put it away. And I stopped working on it. And I stopped buying yarn for it. So that's in the bin. With little ball leftovers. Little ball leftovers. With the hook that I'm using. It's a G. And it's one of my grandma's hooks. So that's in there. No notes, no yarn bands, no nothing. Just thrown in there willy-nilly. These are notes from my niece Skylar for a blanket that I made for her. She has the blanket, but I still have the notes. the yarn labels, and the pen. Just thrown in the bin. I think I will take that out and stick it in a notebook. Right? Okay, we've got some Bernat Softy Baby Chunky. It was to go with the Red Heart Essential Stripes. I wanted to mix them together. But this white is a bit darker than the white in here, so it didn't match very well. Bernat Softy Baby Chunky. That means it is a bulky number 5. And that goes with it. So when I was trying to match it to the other, and I didn't like it. Didn't like the color, the way the colors, they didn't complement each other. So that's in the bin. Lion Brand Mandalas. Number 3 lightweight yarn. It is a self-striping cake. I had 2 of them. I worked them up into a project crochet along that I was doing. Well, actually, when I was doing the crochet along, I did 2 blankets. The one officially with the crochet along, and then this on the side to see how it would work up. I didn't like it. The crochet along was a sampler blanket with sample stitches, and the yarn just the stitches got lost in the yarn color, so I didn't like it. I frogged it. And then I wound them back up into a cake. Okay, so they're in there. Which I like the Lion Brand Mandala cakes. They're They're soft and they are a pleasure to work with, and they have some really good colors. I was trying out working with darker colors because if you notice, a lot of times I stick with pastels and lighter colors and jewel tones, but not necessarily darker colors like this. So sometimes your yarn gets balled up and it gets knotted. These three go along with the mandala cake. They must have gotten knotted and I had to cut them out. So lots of random stuff in this bin. Lots of random stuff. A little bit of Karen Simply Soft in their off-white, which that can go into my other bin that has all the Simply Soft in it. I use this. I made myself a hat a couple years ago. So I used the Karen Simply Soft, which is a number 4 medium weight in this. They call it off-white, but I call it creamy white. It's my favorite color. I made myself a hat. And I held 2 strands of yarn together. There's my hat. It is Karen Simply Soft with a thin number 1, number 2 weight yarn in this green and blues that had a little bit of pink in it. And I got down to here and I ran out of yarn and my hat just wasn't big enough. So I couldn't find this original color, so I had to go with a different color, which is what this one here is, which I still have that. Right here. So that's how I finished up my hat. So I held the 2 strands together. Karen Simply Soft with this. You can see how thin that is. And I made a hat. It's my hat. See, colors go really well together. That was the leftovers. I also made a pom-pom for my hat. Nice, big, thick pom-pom, but I haven't stitched it to my hat yet because my pom-pom wound up in a bin when I put everything away. See? That's what it would look like on my hat. Ready? I actually fold my hat up to cover my ears, keep my ears nice and warm. So there's my hat. And my pom-pom, if I put my pom-pom up there. Do I have a pattern for the hat? I'm glad you asked. It is in a magazine. Somebody else wrote it and designed it. All I did was make it. If I come across the magazine that it's in, I will let you know which one it is. I don't know off the top of my head. Okay. Get it? Top of my head. Oh my goodness. So, when I needed to add some more yarn to my hat, I found this stuff at, again, AC Moore. Did a lot of yarn shopping at AC Moore, long before it ever closed. It is still Stitch Studio, it's Nicole. Stitch Studio by Nicole. She made samples in these little itty bitty balls of yarn. Okay? It doesn't have an official color to it. Most of the time it doesn't give you a lot of information on this little yarn label because it is just a sample. It says on there, if you like specialty yarns, then my unique collection of studio samples is just for you. Each skein is a one-of-a-kind snippet of my favorite yarns. Because my studio samples are always new and ever-changing, you'll have to grab them while you can. And, you know, that was absolutely right, because no sooner would this show up in the store, somebody would buy all of it, and then a different color would show up next, you know? It is 60% acrylic, 20% nylon, and 20% wool. It doesn't even tell me how many ounces this is. I mean, that's only like a 2-ounce ball of yarn, I think. But it's a good color. I like this color. So what I did was, I wasn't sure how much I would need for my hat, to finish my hat. So I bought 3 of them. Well, 4 of them. I'm sorry. I bought 4 because this is the one I used for my hat and for my pom-pom. Okay? And I think I spent like $1 on them. So, I mean, I do like this. I'm going to keep these because I think I would like to make more hats doubled up with the Karen Simply Soft. Maybe I'll make more hats. Maybe I'll make a scarf to go along with the hat. I don't know. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Okay. Now, at the same store, AC Moore. I did a lot of shopping at AC Moore. They had more studio samples from Nicole. Check out this color. Teal, white, gray. An awesome color. It has its production date on there, 2015. So I've had this yarn 7 years. They labeled it as a number 3 lightweight. Technically, yes, but it's on the lighter end of a number 3. It's 100% acrylic. Again, I don't know how much the yardage is. Okay, and it doesn't have an official name. Alright, so I like this color so much. I love the darker teal and the lighter teal and the gray and the white. I love this color so much. They had 15 balls of this. I bought all 15. I don't have all 15 in the bin. It must be somewhere else. And the reason I have this one is because I was working on creating a pattern. I sit with my hook sometimes and I'll grab a yarn. Doesn't matter. And I just start working stitches. And what did I do with this one? Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. But yeah, so I was working on mesh, and then I did 2 double crochets, but not a V-stitch, and then 3 double crochets. Yeah, I was working on a lacy pattern, but I don't think the colors lent themselves really well to what I was working on. So I think I'm gonna frog that, but I'm gonna do it in a solid color. And of course, it has the hook sitting with it, which is my boy ergonomic hook. It's an E or a 3.5 millimeter. That I always leave my hooks with the project until I'm done with the project. We're actually almost done. I have a whole bunch of Lion Brand ice cream yarn. There's some of it in here. I worked a crochet along a couple years ago called Sophie's Universe, and I wanted to make another one, but in baby colors. And I tried the Lion Brand ice cream yarn, so this is the beginning of Sophie's Universe, but I didn't like it. The variegated colors, the little speckles of the colors, the stitches have gotten lost in there. So I'm gonna frog this. So I had done it in the white with the 2 shades of blue and yellow. I'm going to frog that. And then I have a round of white. And then this next color, which is white with blue, purple, and orange. Creamsicles, probably. Yeah, I'm going to frog that because I didn't like the way it had turned out. But I love working with the Lion Brand ice cream yarn. It is so soft and it's such a joy to work with. It's a number 3. It's a lightweight, so it is a little rough on my hands because of how small it is. My hands get cramped, but that's okay. I think it's well worth it. It's a good yarn, and they have good color selection. I have a handful of their speckled yarn, or what do they call it? Ice cream sprinkles. And then I have some of their regular ice cream colors. So I would love to be able to get them all together to see what I have. And then go from there. It'd be nice if all my like with like was together. And then down in the bottom I have random bits. This feels like 4 worsted weight. So does that. This is feels like a 3 lightweight. Just little bits. This is some kind of sock yarn. And I can tell it's got nylon in it. Some baby yarn. Some more baby yarn. I think I was saving all those little bits to make a scrap blanket. This feels like Vanish Choice. But yeah, it's a number 4 medium weight. Some more baby yarn. This is an old ball of yarn. I've had this for a long time. It no longer has a label. I don't know where it came from. It's white with little specks of pink, blue, and yellow. So it feels like a number 3 weight. I think I was saving it to do a scrap blanket. You guys asked what this is too. This is baby yarn. Yeah, I was, because there's a whole bunch of squares in here too. See that? I must have been making leftover, using the leftover yarn to make squares to do a scrap blanket out of the baby yarn. That's purple that goes into green and white and pink. That wound up with light purple, medium purple, and another medium purple. These are really cute. Well, I like that one. That one came out really nice. That one. I think I ran out of purple on that one. Or I wanted to mix it with... I think I wanted to change it and take that purple off and add the peachy color. I think that's why it's not finished there. Let's see. There's another one. Let's see how many rounds are on this. 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. Yeah, so it'd be nice to put these together in a baby blanket, right? Once I get all my number 3 baby yarn all together, make a little scrap blanket. So these are all complementary colors, and then I got this one. Look how bright that is. That's not going to fit in there. It's not going to complement it at all. It's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And then let's see, some leftover pink. And some leftover green, yellow, and white. So hook size, I probably used a D or an E. I don't think I used an F. Ooh, I like this one. Look at that. Green, yellow, and purple. That's nice. Alright, I'll have to spread these out and give you guys a little video clip of that. Won't be today, but it's a good idea. Look at all them. It's a start of a really cute baby blanket, right? Yeah, I like that. So that is it for random yarn bin number 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to organize what is left in here, and then I'm going to move on to my next blanket in my project pile, and then after that I'll move on to another bin of yarn because I have a lot of stuff to work through. So on that note, hang in there with me for a minute. I haven't done yarn shopping in 2 years, I want to say, at least. Because the minute I stopped being able to crochet because of my rotator cuff, I stopped shopping, right? But my husband and I would go to the thrift store a lot. Stuff for the house, just because we like to shop at the thrift store. It's where I get most of my books from, on my bookshelf. I was at a thrift store back on April 1st. I was out with my husband, and I found a ball of yarn on the shelf, and I just could not leave it there. It's a brand new ball of yarn. It's Hirschner's. It's their own brand of yarn. Hirschner's worsted weight, worsted 8. That means it's an 8-ounce ball. And it's number 4 medium weight. And it's baby yarn. Okay. Doesn't have an official color. Nah, it just has a number. 100% acrylic. It is a medium 4 weight. It is 8 ounces or 224 grams, 489 yards. So the thrift store had it for $2.99. The yellow label was 50% off, so I spent $1.50 on it. Now that's the first time I've bought yarn in almost 2 years, and that was just a couple weeks ago. All right, so there we go. Where am I going to put that? I don't know. Random yarn bin number 6, because there's room in there. So then just the other day on April 14th, I was out at Goodwill looking at books and I found yarn on the shelf. I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's sold for $4.99. Goodwill had it for $2.99 and I get 10% off at Goodwill, so I spent $2.69 on it. Or I get 20% off at Goodwill? Not sure. The color is Fruit Punch. I think this is a good color to add to my Patchwork Squares blanket. So, I bought yarn at Goodwill. It's brand new, and it's clean. I always check it when I'm out at the thrift stores, make sure it's clean. And this I bought because I think my mom would like it. There was 2 of these on the shelf at Goodwill. It is, again, Stitch Studio by Nicole that you cannot get at AC Moore anymore because it closed down. It is number 4 medium weight. Okay, number 4 medium weight. It is, how big is this? 520 yards? Is that a lot? I don't know. It is a 9-ounce ball of yarn. It's actually 9.8 ounces. That's almost 10 ounces of yarn. And its color is Flower Multi. I think my mom would like that. So Mom, if you're watching, do you want some yarn? I bought it with you in mind. So they had 2 of them on the shelf at Goodwill. They were marked at $3.99. I paid $3.59 for them. I think that's a good deal since, you know, you can't actually go to AC Moore and buy it anymore. So I did actually buy some yarn, even though I'm going through all the yarn I own. But I bought it at the thrift store, so that makes it okay, right? I don't know. Okay, so that is it for random yarn bin number 6. I did do it in 2 parts of the video instead of 3. So I think that's good, right? So today's Wednesday. Hopefully by Friday I will have a video for you of the next blanket in my project pile. Thanks for hanging out with me and for putting up with all my rambling about yarn and my process of going through it and realizing I have way too much stuff for one person. And you should not shop because you can. You shouldn't buy things because you want to. I mean, when you buy things, you really should have a job in mind for it, a project in mind for it. We live in a small house. It's me, my husband, our 3 teenagers, our 2 cats. It's a 1,200 square foot house. It's not a big house. I don't have a basement. I don't have an attic. I don't have a garage. I have a living room and a dining room that is actually really our office and computer room. Kitchen, bathroom, 3 bedrooms. You know, me and my husband are in 1 bedroom. 2 kids are in a bedroom. 1 kid's in a bedroom. That's all we've got. I have no place to store all of this. And I told you, it's in my shed. 30 boxes, bins, and bags in my shed. Got no room in the house for it. And God, I am so frustrated with all of it. So, yeah. Alright, so hopefully you liked today's video. If you made it this far, give me a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one.